last presenter, Mr. Dimaz, come forward. Mr. Dimaz Ankaa Wijaya came all the way from Monash University. Caulfield or Clayton?
I was based at Clayton.
Clayton, oh, it's not that far, so yeah. No worries. He will present research on a paper on tax smart contract.
Right.
Yep, you can start.
Good evening, everyone. So, I want to present my side project, basically. That's not my main project, but it's interesting because it's kind of, I want to pay back to my country and also my previous employer. And for the beginning, I want to brag a little bit. So I'm associated to Monash University, that is 61, and also this is just kind of spin-off. So, so some of us create this company, and I'm one of the senior researchers doing the research on blockchain technology. So, having said that, I'm currently a PhD student. I finished my master's at Monash University as well. And as you can see there, my field of expertise, I'm also an author. I'm actually, sorry, I'm a bit nervous. Right, so I've been working, so I work for the DJP or Indonesian Tax Agency since 2009, and unfortunately I have to resign in 2017 to pursue my dream of having a PhD degree on my name. Right, so yeah, so that's basically me. So a little bit about the menu for today. So I'll start with the problem statement. What are the problems that we want to solve in this research? And also how to define my project and how to put it on the context of the problems. This is a little bit about the background about the technology that I want to bring on the taxation area, and also the current progress, and the conclusion or the expected outcomes of my side project, my research. Right, so I assume that we are coming from a different background, but I will try to propose, I will try to share the problems within taxation in Indonesia that I have studied or I have learned during my 8 years working there. So first of all, the VAT or value added tax. You might be aware that it's all over the news that most of the time these malicious users or malicious taxpayers, they just want to fake the tax invoices. But the problem is that if you know that the tax invoices can be redeemed, then you can see the tax invoices as money. Then by faking the tax invoices, you reproduce your money. Right? So it creates some problems within the government budget, the government income. As Mas Agung has mentioned, that the taxation is very important. And VAT is one of the key components because it comprises more than 30%. It's around 300 trillion rupiahs per year. Right? So the total tax that has to be collected this year should be around 14,000 trillion rupiahs. You mentioned that how much money that should be collected from the VAT. The next one is stamp duty. The problem with stamp duty is a little bit different because people just underestimate the stamp duty because who cares, you just pay 6,000 rupiahs per document. So imagine now we just moved to digital world where we create lots of digital documents, and it must be you have to pay the stamp duty. But the problem with the stamp duty is that based on the Stamp Duty Act, which was established in 1985, the year that I was born, Like 33 years ago, there's no internet and whatsoever, and the definition of document is still paper, so it's still physical document. So, well, the digital areas are not beyond reach. It's actually beyond reach of this sent to the act. And recently, there's a fax stamp case in Indonesia a few days ago. So basically, this person was my ex-boss. I was working for him for several years, and I know him so well, and he's always interested in revealing all the problems and all the cases in the taxation area. Right, so I want to dig more about the project that I've done, that I'm doing at the moment. So the scope should be Indonesian taxation, but we can also bring the approach to like different areas, but this is just a pilot that I want to put to related to VAT and stamp duty. And then after that, the technology that I want to use is the blockchain technology. I don't know if you are already familiar with that particular term. Bitcoin, so the smart contract is like the smarter version of Bitcoin, you can say that. And also a little bit different with as Chris, my first goal should be on security. So we want to make the information or the data or the transaction secure by using the blockchain technology. That's our first purpose. And also the second one should be on transparency. We want everyone to understand, want everyone to know that your data has been recorded on the government servers. And the last one should be automation. So this is the vision that we want to bring forward, because, well, we might see robots and AIs taking over the economy, and we want to make sure that the tax is being paid. So we want to make sure that it should be automated by using the technology that we want to use. And the interesting part is this is a community-based initiative, and I welcome you to join us. You can see the information there. You can, well, actually, you can take part, or you can just learn about the tax and the smart contract or the technology. You must welcome to do so. So basically, this is the continuation of the budget coin. So I did a presentation on the budget coin a few years ago, and then this is just enhancement, or you can say the version 2 for the system. Right, so it's a little bit about the blockchain. So imagine if you have a transaction data, and most of the time you put it on the centralized server, but on the blockchain technology, you have multiple servers or multiple participants to confirm that you have the information here. So first of all, it sends the transaction data into that block. It's called block, or basically just some kind of database. And it is confirmed by these multiple participants to make sure that nobody has the capability to modify all these transactions. So we want to keep the fairness intact. And also after these participants agree on this, the correctness of the data, and then it is approved and it is included on the blockchain. And the good thing is that after it is included, nobody can modify it by using cryptography technology and all that I want to put in. And at the end of the day, everyone's happy, data is secured, everyone can see the data, and the tax is paid. And the economy is running smoothly. Right, so a little bit about smart contracts. So the blockchain technology is enhanced by using the smart contract mechanism. So basically, you can just write the contracts or piece of code. If you are agree with someone that you will do all the features or all the procedures, you just write some kind of piece of code, computer code, and you upload it on the blockchain, and the blockchain is immutable, no one can modify it, it means that it's fair, and after the code is uploaded, then every participant can see and can evaluate, can do the audit on the data and all the movement of the information for the smart contract which has been uploaded. Right, so this is my current progress because I cannot present without progress, right? Right. The most important part when creating a new project on the smart contract is the business process. So that's the quote from Andrew Miller, who is one of the best, the prominent people in my area. So I have this one. I assume that the business process would slightly different because we have to include the computer and the bank and tax authority statement tax. And this business process is related to the electronic document rather than a physical document. So we have no idea how to deal with the physical document at the moment. But if you have some ideas, please tell us. So, first of all, the user A will create the document here by using any Microsoft Word and whatever that you are comfortable with. And also after that, generally you buy the stamp, but this time you just pay it to the bank, and the bank will confirm the balance into the smart contract, which is already uploaded to the blockchain. Right. And after that, the user A confirms that the balance is already there, and having said that, the balance can be spent. It means that I confirm, I put on the stamp on the electronic document, such a way that the electronic document, the fingerprint of the electronic document is also included on the smart contract, and at the same time, the balance is reduced. Then the bank can just create a report to the tax authority, and because it's transparent, tax authority just verify whether the report is correct. And the electronic document, the stamp duty is already been paid. It is sent to the user B, and the user B can verify that the document has the stamp duty. Right, what is the expected outcomes? So we hope somehow in the future we want to have this smart contract based tax invoice. So that's to mitigate the problems within the VAT, and then after that we want to, basically I am currently working on the stamp duty instead of the tax invoice because the stamp duty is easier. But we want to have this both, but just don't have the time and the power to do that. But in the future we expect that all the tax will be done by using a smart contract, hence there will be smart tax. And of course, the final destination should be the tax revenue, not the bad things, but the good thing is the tax revenue by reducing the tax fraud and increasing the convenience. You don't need to buy this small stamp, just go to the internet and pay and just upload your data, and that's all. And the effectiveness of the government, because the government can just sit on the office and search for the data and so on.